Hello everyone, SirMonkeySuit. I was happy here back again with Demon Slayer, and we have hit the finale of season 1. So it's a shame that it's come to an end, and now I'm gonna have to wait until season 2 comes out, which I don't know when that's going to be. I don't know if they've announced when it'll be back. But it's not truly the end yet. We've still got an episode, right? So as of right now, it hasn't ended. But in the last episode, we got more information on Kanao. We've got a little bit of backstory on her, the reason why she is the way that she is, and that she, was abused to a point where she basically cut off herself from her own emotions, and it got to a point where she was basically like a robot. She could only do things by being commanded to do so. Kanao Kocho, so the older sister of Shinobu, gave her a coin that she flips and decides for, that's basically what makes her decisions for her. I guess she, in her own head, she, basically picks a scenario of, yes or no answer, and then flips the coin, and whatever it lands on, she does, I suppose. So it's kind of like a half and half, like an idea that, she makes the choice, she doesn't make the choice, but she, the scenario is there, means that, she can sort of bridge the gap, and she's in a transitionary period right now where I'm sure at some point for her character development she'll get over that, and she'll make her, actual choices of her own free will. But we had that. We saw a horrific demon on a train. I don't know if that's related to Kyojuro yet or not. If that mission's there, don't know. That would assume, if that is the case, then we have to assume that is the upper demon that he was talking about. But I don't know. We don't know yet. The whole sort of rehabilitation, at least for Tanjiro, has been completed, and he's fully healed now. And they've gotten their Nichirin swords back as well. So that's cool. It means that they can continue on. We also got information on the Hinokami dance breathing as well, the fact that it is actually fire breathing, but there is another form of a similar thing that is called flame breathing, which is what Kyojuro uses, that is strictly not fire breathing. They are two different things, and there's a strict policy on not calling flame breathing fire breathing. You know what I mean? So it's clearly a special exclusive kind of thing, the fire breathing that that Tanjiro used the other episode. But it's interesting that we got that information. Also, I want Kyojuro to come back alive so that Tanjiro can talk about it. I don't know if that's going to happen in this episode, but we'll see. Nothing else to really talk about, but we're going to get an episode 26. So yeah, the reaction is obviously in the description below to the 10-minute version. There's also the link to the full length. If you do want that, then the option is there. But yeah, nothing else to really talk about. So we're going to get into the finale of season 1 and see what we get. So without further ado, let's go. Okay, the finale of season 1, and yeah, I mean, I love this show. I think it's gorgeous. It's funny, and I'm really invested, especially with this whatever this fucking arc, because I'll talk about that first and just get it out of the way, because that was called the coming of age arc. I love the fact that they actually brought that up, because they don't really normally an arc or whatever an arc is called is something that is generally whatever the thing is revolved around, and it doesn't really specifically point out what the arc actually is. But they did here, and so that was the coming of age arc. So yeah, cool. And now we're going into the Infinity Train arc. So that's a full arc. Now, this is the thing. I don't know if that means that, because the way that it brought it up, it said the Infinity Train arc is coming up, and then it immediately was followed by film adaptation that was greenlit. I don't know if that means that the Infinity Train arc is going to be encompassed in the film, and that's all that is. But because it didn't say a season 2 here, it only said film. So I guess it's the film that is going to encompass the whole Infinity Train arc, but I'm excited, man. I'm pumped. And fucking Kyojuro at the end there, dude, he looked sick. He looked really, really cool. But yeah, I mean, it looked like, I think the lower 5 was standing on the train as well. Now, the thing is with that is like I don't know if that was just hinting at the fact that eventually the lower one will actually make it onto the train at some point, but he's not literally on there now. I don't know what that's. I don't know. Here's the thing: is like the Infinity Train. The fact of it being an arc is surprising. Like obviously when it came up, so it makes me. I think it has to be the film that's just encompassing that. It has to be. It can't be a full season of a fucking. Well, it doesn't have to be a full season. It could just be like 12 episodes or whatever. But the fact that they're calling it an arc means that it's going to take place quite a long time, like on that train. So I'm excited for that, and how it's all going to work. I don't know who the fucking demon was then that was on there that we saw in episode 25. You know, but the train seemed a bit longer than I thought at first. I mean, I suppose the first thing I ever thought was Infinity Train. What does that mean? I was like, is it literally a train that just goes on forever? You know what I mean? Can you imagine that? Jesus. It's a cool idea though. I would like the concept of that. Like a train that literally goes on forever. Like let's say obviously you have the world, the globe. But there's a track that literally goes all the way around, and the train is literally connected all the way around. It would still work the same way, because if the train's still going forward, eventually, like obviously you could still use it as transport. It's an interesting idea. Don't take that. I'm gonna write a story with that in it. That'll be cool. But yeah, fucking hell, I'm pumped. So the film's greenlit. Now I'm gonna look that up, because Demon Slayer. I don't know. Let's put season 2 first. So season 2, it says release date and everything. Let's have a look at this. Release date. Even though there isn't any confirmation for season 2 for now, that's what it's saying. That's what it's basically saying there. But it also ties that in with the Infinity Train arc. So I don't know. I'm gonna have to put in the film now and just see what that brings up. When is it coming out? The highly anticipated Demon Slayer movie is officially hitting Japanese theaters October 16th. Okay, right. So it's going to be released early next year then, I suppose. That's when I'll be able to react to it. It says here like the movie Mugen Train. So I assume that it has that has to be the Infinity Train arc is going to revolve around that. So this is going to have to be a movie that you have to watch then. If you want to like have the whole story, you're going to have to watch this. Because sometimes like with My Hero, they have like the Two Heroes movie where, you know, you don't have to watch it to get the whole story kind of thing. Well, I guess to get the whole story, I suppose, yeah. But it's something you don't actually need to watch. But it seems like this movie you're going to have to watch if you want to get what's coming after season, like, you know, in actual season 2. Interesting. Okay. Well, another movie I'm going to have to end up watching then. Cool. Right, so I don't even know where to go from there. I guess we'll just start at the very beginning. So yeah, we started in what I assume is like the Demon HQ, like the bit where they go to like, you know, for meetings and everything like that. I mean, he summoned the Lower Five there, and now they've been dismantled. Like they're not a thing anymore because Rui failed. They all were just he claimed them as useless, except for the Lower One, which I'm going to refer to the guy as the Lower One for now, even though I don't think he is considered that title anymore. But like, there's no other name for him, so I'm going to assume that's. I'm just going to call him that. I need to know what that fucking picture is. Is it the Labyrinth? Is that what it is? I think it's Labyrinth, right? Fucking hell. It's a painting, isn't it? I think it's a painting. That's not the one I was looking for. I thought it was called Labyrinth, but I guess I'm wrong. I mean, it has the. Nah, it's just not what it is. Labyrinth stairs. There we go. Yes, this is what I was. Yeah, okay. Yeah, so it is Labyrinth, like the movie. That's what it is. But I thought it was based on like a painting that somebody did. But I guess not. I guess it's just Labyrinth. But yeah, I mean that's what it reminded me of. So yeah, if you put in like Labyrinth stairs, you'll get what I mean. But that's what it reminded me of. Like you're basically, the perception of everything is like you're walking upstairs, and to you're upright, but you're seeing like if you're seeing like other people walking upstairs, but they're at like a fucking like a 90-degree angle. You know what I mean? Like gravity shouldn't be able to work that way. You know what I mean? But that's the way that that's what it reminded me of. And it just looked fucking cool, man. I love the fact that they made it all 3D. And I've said before, it would have been in this reaction, like, back in like episode, probably would have been an early episode where I basically, I've said that UFO Table are great with 3D and everything like that. With 3D in anime is very controversial. But this it just looked fucking great. The only thing that I would say that I didn't wasn't a fan of. In terms of that 3D, there was that one shot where you saw the blood like dripping down, and it looked a bit odd. Like it didn't look as like viscous as I feel like it should have been for blood. Like it the way that it dropped seemed weird. But other than that, like it looked fucking great. It looked really, really sexy. So yeah, really, really cool. I just loved that whole scene. Where, yeah, so he came in as a woman. Of course, like, he can shapeshift and everything like that. It's odd that he shapeshifted into a woman, though. Like, of everything that you can shapeshift into, you shapeshift into the opposite gender. You know what I mean? Because, I don't know. I guess it depends on who he is. Like, who he was beforehand. If it was, like, a thing that he was... If he's just a being that existed and that was it, or if he literally like had a life beforehand. I don't know, it's just weird that he would. I don't know. That's strangely just weird to me. But anyway, he did it. And that's that. I thought so, like when I saw his eyes, I was like, it's Muzan, right? Because he's got those distinct eyes. So, like the ones that no other ones have. And yeah, so he was basically tormenting them. I didn't know it was going to go so far as he was going to kill them all, but he did. And yeah, he basically like it was like he was tormenting them to a point where like you couldn't say anything. Like there was nothing you could do. You were going to die either way. The only one that really got a buy being like the lower one was because he was that way inclined that he didn't even care. So, it just ended up being a case of like, well, I'll give you my blood, but at the end of the day, this is only going to work for you if you can like literally handle it, because it was the same way that the most horrible part of the show when he basically gave that poor girl like his blood, and she just fucking like exploded. It was horrible, but so yeah, it's he decided to give him his blood, and yeah, so he was talking about how obviously he said the lower ranks were being dismantled. Then he said like he was talking about the upper ranks, that the upper ranks have remained, the same, and they're the exact same, demons that like inherited that position. They have remained the same, and that they're the ones that have killed Hashira already. So yeah, I was right to be worried about the Hashira. And god damn, I hope Kyojuro does not fucking die, because he looks so cool, man. It's gonna be sick. It's gonna be sick having him there, man. The Hashira are just, there's something else, and I don't know, I really like them. So yeah, and Muzan was reading the minds, so he can do that as well. I mean, I assume it's because we've talked a little bit about this before, about how like Muzan, like if you refer to him as like, if you like go out of your way and you actually like say his name and stuff, that like the demon blood within will basically just kill you off, because it's, at the end of the day, the cells that are in there are Muzan cells. So we've talked about that before, but I wonder if that I mean, that must be how he can read minds of everyone who's a demon, I suppose. Will be interesting, like, if that's something he can do with Nezuko. I don't know, because I mean, it was when it happened to the Tamari demon, that girl, and you know, she said his name, and then therefore that basically started the process of killing her. And I was like, is that something that just happens like automatically, like it's almost like coded that way, or is it something that Muzan specifically knows about and therefore he kills them? I don't know. We still don't know that yet, but there's definitely something with that connection there, that because it's his cells, he must be able to read their mind that way. And I don't know if that is the case, he can read their mind that way. I would assume that. Well, I don't know. I don't know if there's like a range of like how fast like a demon has to be for him to read their mind. I suppose so, because otherwise you'd be just like, you would have everything in his head going on, like all of these thoughts. So it has to be something that he turns on, or he has to be within a certain, you know, distance away from them, or certain distance close enough to them. So yeah, and because the way that Muzan set it up, it seems as though, and this would obviously work in tandem with the idea of it being a movie, is that it's going, obviously the movie is going to have that typical movie sort of you know, like first act, second act, third act, I'd imagine, ending with like the main villain is obviously going to be the lower one, I assume, and this is going to be the 12 Kizuki member that Tanjiro truly kills, which is the mission that obviously the master gave him. And it makes sense, like Muzan was setting that up right there and then, where he basically said like, go out and kill Hashira and also that boy Tanjiro. So, you know, like, this is the thing, this is why like I'm so scared for Kyojuro, man. I don't want it. The fact is, at the end of this episode, like when we saw him there and he was like, you could see the flames like, you know, like creeping up in it, everything like that, that he was like, no one's gonna die here, like, and it's like to me, that is such a death flag thing to say. Like, no one's going to die here. Like, it's like under my watch, right? It's like, if anyone has to die, it's going to be me, and he's going to sacrifice himself for some fucking... I fucking hope not, though, man. God, because, I don't know. I just really like him now. He said, like... I guess in terms of, like what's... the characters and whatnot, right? He said, you know, fairly... Like, he said, like, very little. But I just like him. I just like him, man. He's just cool. So yeah, it's gonna suck if he dies. We're just gonna have to see, though. I mean, at the end of the day, we're on a train, right? It's not that big that... The only way I could say this goes, like, if when the movie comes along, like, that the others are they're indisposed, so they can't, you know, they can't come to aid Tanjiro or whatever. Like, if there's a reason that something happens in the fight where like some of the carriages like break away, and therefore like you've only got Tanjiro, Kyojuro, and the lower moon guy, the lower one, and therefore Zenitsu and Inosuke can't come in to help, because at the end of the day, like, what I'm thinking is, you know, we've got that one demon that we saw in episode 25, and then the lower one, but in terms of like how many people we've got there now on the train, we've got Kyojuro, Tanjiro, Zenitsu, and Inosuke. Like, that's 4. So most of everything that we know right now, it's 4 against 2. I feel like it's not going to end up that way. There's going to be, you know, something else that crops up. Like, there's going to be obviously problems that they have to solve, and I feel like it's not just going to be an easy 4-on-1 or 4-on-2 kind of deal. I just don't see that it being the case, you know. I mean, it's of course with Zenitsu, it's like it may as well be just 3 with Kyojuro, Inosuke, and Tanjiro, until Zenitsu, you know, falls unconscious. So, you know, I guess there's that. But of course, you know, they're gonna have to solve some problems, and it's going to be interesting to see how that pans out in the Infinity Train arc. Like, how does it make people? How does it make like some characters indisposed to the other ones and how that's going to end up working. Because I assume the whole movie will take place on the train. I feel like that's what's going to it's going to be. It's going to be interesting though. And also, I don't think it rides itself. So how are they going to fight without the people who are driving the train? Like, I don't know. Maybe the demon kills them off, and then it's just them on the train. It could be just that. You know, and who knows? But it's a fucking steam train, so it's going to run out of steam at some point. You know what I mean? Like, unless someone's in there like shipping fucking coal into it, it's going to stop at some point. So, you know, there is that. But we'll see. Maybe with Kyojuro, like, of being a flame Hashira, maybe he can just like keep it moving. You know, I don't know, like with his fire, that'd be cool. But yeah. So yeah, I guess back to the Demon HQ place or whatever. The obviously the one that was interesting was the one playing that like guitar instrument thing, because it was very similar to the drum that was Kyogai. That Kyogai had. You know, the Suzumi, that's what it was. Very similar. Like, especially at the very end when the lower one guy like got thrown out of the HQ, like it was exactly the same, which is interesting. And it makes me wonder if, well, no, because there was only 6 lower moons, wasn't there? And there was definitely 5 there, and obviously Rui's dead. So that one there wasn't a lower moon, because I was thinking that he was. I was thinking that one playing the guitar might have been somebody that took over Kyogai's place, and that's like obviously the connection there. But I don't know. But yeah, that one was in. I don't know who that could be. If it's just. I don't know. I feel like that one's just the guardian of the HQ that allows them to get in and, you know. I wonder where that is situated, because it seems like something that can just be changed like wherever, and that's how they obviously it's the perfect hideout almost in a way, you know. It's going to be a great place for a final boss, though. I tell you that. You know, but I feel like almost like one with the guitars, like almost like the guardian of the whole place, and like lets them in and out, and not an upper moon. Maybe though, who knows? But yeah, honestly, the way that it was, whatever she was strumming that thing, God, that pierced my ears badly. Like that was horrible. It was like they were picking it with like what looked like an axe blade without the handle. That's what it looked like. I don't think that's part of the instrument, but I could be wrong. I don't know. I could be very, very wrong. So you're gonna have to let me know if I'm wrong on that. But yeah. And then anyway, so off of that, we go back to obviously the Butterfly Mansion. The last guy that was at the final selection, the guy who was like really fucking overly zealous, he's fucking huge now, and I don't know how he's grown that much. I don't know. I was going to say it's got to be something to do with his breathing style, his technique, because we don't know it yet. But then it's like, well, how does that work in tandem with like? Because we've had this discussion before, right, about the breathing techniques, right, and about it being just a visual and not an actual physical thing. So surely that if the fact that he just grew massively and his physique is like huge due to his breathing, then surely that wouldn't be the case either, if that was just a visual thing. So I'm interested to see more with him, but he's fucking huge, man. Like, and Tanjiro picked up on something about like the way he smells, about how like it's, I don't know, does that mean it's different? Is he changed? I don't know. He looks badass though. You know what I mean? I love the different hair. It looks really cool. So yeah, there was that. We got a little bit with Aoi as well. She saying that like she actually got through the final selection, so it is something that she actually has done. And that was a question I had actually a couple episodes ago with her. But she was saying that she barely made it through and on luck, and then when it actually came to fighting demons or whatever, like she was sort of cowardly. And then Tanjiro with the with the the great words as he he says the nicest things, and touched her heart a bit, and then went and touched Kanoa's as well by flipping the coin, getting it on heads. I was like, I was almost tempted not to say the whole thing of like, he cheated and made it heads, because obviously the way that he is inclined, he's not that way. Like he's not one to cheat, put it that way. But kind of worked in a way, the idea of like, it was good that it worked out the first time, but he said he was just going to keep doing it anyway until it got heads, and so that touched Kanoa's heart, and I feel like she's found the boy that she likes, and that'll now she doesn't need the coin anymore, right? Because it's like she can listen to her heart more and just go with that. She may still do it from time to time, but it's progress anyway, regardless. So there is that, and also the magic wind, that if it hadn't have been there, that it could have been Tails. You should in the reaction. I mean, you saw me. I was like, what could that mean? And then like the first thing that came to my head, like I was literally searching my brain like so quickly. What could it mean? Like who could have done that? And I was like, it wasn't Tanjiro. It couldn't have been Tanjiro that did that. And I was like, oh, wait a minute, Senemi's the wind Hashira. Did he do it? But then as soon as I said it, I was like, well, why would he do it? You know what I mean? It's like, he's the last person that would help out Tanjiro right now. But yeah, so I guess it was just a random gust of wind that came in. But yeah, that was that. And yeah, so all of them now can do the total concentration constant. I assume, because isn't that tied with the whole blowing into the gourd and having it explode? So I assume that Inosuke and Zenitsu can do it as well. But yeah, and we saw off Giyu, who quickly made a quick getaway. Almost looked like an instant transmission, but obviously he just jumped. And then we got to the train, and I love the fact that Inosuke, because obviously he hasn't seen it before, he thinks of it as a living thing. It's so funny, man. God, he actually headbutted the train, and then the police came out, which I'm happy that we saw that, because yeah, like what obviously Zenitsu said, and then what they mentioned like back in episode, it could be like episode 2 or 3, where they were obviously talking about back then that the government isn't, the Demon Slayer cult isn't recognized by the government, therefore it's not like they can just wander around with fucking swords. So yeah, that's it. It's cool to see that side of it, because we haven't obviously seen that before. And yeah, I think I actually mentioned that at some point. I think it was when they went to, was it Asakusa, and Tanjiro was like roaming around with his blade, and I was like, can he do that? I'm pretty sure there was something that I said that was akin to that. But yeah, I mean, it's cool seeing it now, and honestly, yeah. So that's something I'm gonna have to take on board. That they can't just carry it around willy nilly. So yeah, I suppose it's good that we are in this time period like now, because with obviously surely this story is going to end with Tanjiro killing off Muzan, or Muzan dying in some form or fashion, which will end the whole need for Demon Slayers. But like it would be interesting to just see how it would look like the Demon Slayer core like in like today, like now at times, with like guns and stuff. Like you would have that metal that would be crafted into bullets, so you could literally fire it at demons. Demons would be kind of screwed, I think, in this day and age with like being able to do it from range. But yeah, but I love the fact that they've put it at a time period where there is that overlap of like that it's kind of getting there in that like industrial age. It's just about there, but it still has the essence of like old, like more ancient Japan. So by having like them two kind of collide, and it's so like vastly different in certain places to others. Like, you know, you have the countryside where most of this has taken place, or like out in the wild, and then you have those areas where it's like city based and it's a hell of a lot more modern, and of course the train as well, being in the industrial age, that's just coming around now. So it's really cool. It's a really cool time period, and it's something that we're just really kind of seeing, like, you know, that coming into play now. I mean, I know we had the Asakusa place, but it didn't stick around that long, and you know, but it's cool to have that sort of like those two different worlds like sort of just colliding a bit. So yeah, I mean, that's pretty much all I've got. Like, this show is great. I fucking love it. Absolutely love it. So I can't wait to get more of it. It's going to be a while. We'll have to wait a while, because yeah, I mean, with season 2 not being announced yet, or like a release date, anything like that, and the only thing that has been announced is obviously the movie, which means that, you know, I'd have to assume with it coming out in theater, like in cinema, in theaters in October, then by the time I'm going to get to react to it, it's going to be like beginning of next year. So it's a long way away. So that's sad, but you know, it's all right. We can watch all our shows until we get there, and then it'll all be cool, you know. So yeah, I mean, that's all I've got. Really enjoyed this show. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed watching it along with me as well. So thank you everyone for watching. In the description below I have links to certain things. One of them is the Discord, so you can get yourself over there if you wish. And I also have a Patreon page as well, so if you do want to support me, that'd be very much appreciated. There is a bunch of different tiers and rewards there depending on how much you want to support me with. So there's the early access tier, $5 a month, gives you access to shows a week early. There's also full length tier there, so you can, you know, watch all of these in full, and there are other tiers where you can pay to have a certain show reacted to as well. So if you want me to react to a show, go have a look at those tiers and see what they offer. But that is all I've got, so thank you for watching. I'll see you all next time. Bye bye.